It's time to be spontaneous and seize the moment. We're flying cross country from LAX to Miami for a week of poker and relaxation. When I think of the word relaxation, there's one person that immediately comes to mind, our good buddy Ethan. Naturally, we're road tripping down to Key West together. We had to stop by the key lime pie factory, grab 2 slices, and Ethan shows us the proper way to eat it. Moving down the keys, we stop and grab some lunch. Ethan the bird whisperer. Did you shit? Just did a big poop. Okay, now you do it. We end up spending the night at a beautiful resort called Isla Bella. Check it out. The next morning, we head down to the southernmost point of the United States and then check out Hemingway's house, where he lived in the 1930s, filled with over 66 toed cats. In need of some refreshments, Captain Tony's Saloon is calling our name, a great old-time bar covered in dollar bills and bras from years past. After a 4-hour drive north, we meet up with Kiran and Mariano for some dinner, and we crock for the bill. Me and Mariano are clean out.
Join the crock thing. I only had a fruit bowl, but a fruit bowl for $75. But it's gonna be worth it. All right, you have to pick it though. Ethan, the magic is on you, buddy.
Time for some poker with the gang, checking out a new property for the vlog. The venue is called The Big Easy, and it's known for their fun, splashy 1-2 game. We're in for the max. We're sitting at the same table with Ethan, and he shoves all in his very first hand, ends up getting scooped, and he turns over 10-6 offsuit. That's just the story of the night. We look down with 300 in our stack in the hijack. I look down at pocket 4s. I raise it up to $10 and we end up getting 4 callers. We're going 5 ways to a flop. If I was looking for an above average flop, this would be it. Ace 4 deuce, bang, we flop middle set. Bang! Additionally, it's Ethan's favorite hand, pocket 4s. Go figure. Gonna be taking an aggressive line here. There should be a lot of aces that the other players can have. I bet out for $25 and both the small blind and the big blind call, so we're going 3 ways to the turn. Turn's a good one. It comes a queen of spades. Opponents could improve like king queen, queen jack, who knows. So when they check it over to me for a second time, I assemble some red chips and fire out a bet for $75 into the $125 pot. Surprisingly, nobody has anything that they want to continue with. They both muck their cards, but it's nice to start off the session up $90, taking down that $125 pot. If you guys would just take a moment and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification to keep up with the action. We got a few more videos here with the whole gang from Florida. Then we're going to head over to Austin and I get into a tag team game with Ethan, as well as the largest ever meetup game with Brad Owen and Andrew Nemi. Hit that subscribe and bell notification and let's get back into the crazy action here in Florida. Moving on to the next hand, we look down at the Nueves, pocket 9s, and I raise it up to $15 from the low jack. Only the player on my right puts in the call, and that means we're heads up to the flop. Flop comes ace, ace 3 with 2 hearts, and the opponent checks it over to me. I'm going to have a lot of aces in my range as well as other good pocket pairs. So when he checks it over to me, I bet out for 1/3 of the pot for $10, and that's apparently good enough to take down this pot. We're 2 for 2 on the night. Ethan's back to his old tricks once again. He bets out for $300 at this 1-2 game. The players are getting a little bit frustrated. They're not sure why he just keeps ripping it in. But oh well, we came to play some power poker. We look down at ace 3 of spades. $400 in my stack. I'm in the small blind. Ethan is obviously in the straddle. The action folds it back over to me. Need to put pressure on my buddy here. I pop it up to $20 and only Ethan calls. Nothing too crazy to report just yet. The flop comes jack, jack 7 with 2 diamonds. And now I slow down and check it over to him and he bets bets out for $15. My ace high is going to be ahead of a lot of his range here. I'm not going to let him get away with it that easy. So when he bets for $15, I put in the call, and the turn comes a 10 of clubs. Does not improve me in the slightest. When I check and he checks behind, that's pretty great news for us. I probably have the best hand. And now the river comes the third jack, the jack of spades, making it even less likely that he has a jack in his hand. With $72 out there, what do you think a good bet sizing would be from Ethan? Oh, maybe something like $35, $40, maybe $20 to get thin value. But no, he goes for a 2 followed by nothing. He bets $2. $2 into the $72 pot. I can't fold my ace high here. I need to see what he has. I'm cracking up just telling you guys about it. And he turns over 9-7 offsuit, went for the extremely thin value, got an extra $2 out of me. That's 2 McDoubles right there. And he's laughing to the bank. I told you we came with the whole gang, Kiran, Mariano, and Ethan. Now we're finally all at the same table after numerous Tetris moves to table change all together. We're stoked, and we're even more stoked. We look down at pocket queens, the ladies from the cutoff. Ethan in the low jack raises it up to $20. Obviously, I'm not letting him get away with a small raise here. I make it 65 and the action folds back around to him. Will he go for the 4-bet? Will he just put in the call? No, he actually just mucks his cards and he turns over 6 deuce face up. I guess I need to be looking at my opening range chart again because 6 deuce offsuit was not on the one that I purchased. We end up topping up for $100 additional, and I look down at pocket aces from the hijack, a cool $300 in our stack, and Ethan from late position raises it up to $12. Obviously, I'm raising it up to $35. That's a 3-bet, and the big blind puts in the call. Ethan gets out of the way. We're heads up to a flop. With 85 out there, the flop comes pretty good. Unless he has king queen, it comes king queen 6. We have an overpair. He checks it over to me. I'm in position and I fire out for $20 into the $85 pot, and the opponent pretty quickly calls, so I'm putting him on a pocket pair, maybe a queen jack, ace king type of hand. Either way, we should be in a good position, and the turn doesn't really change anything. It comes to 4 of hearts. Well, I said it doesn't really change anything, but that's in my brain. In his brain, it changes everything. He rips it all in, his entire stack for $100. Obviously a no-brainer decision for me. I have an overpair. If he has a hand like king queen, we can still counterfeit him with any 6, 4, or ace on the river. So I stick in the snap call for $100 and we're off to a river. River comes the 5 of spades. Not exactly the best card, but he turns over ace queen offsuit for just 1 pair. Obviously I quickly turn over my aces and we're going to take down that $325 pot. One thing to note, and I would appreciate if you guys would let me know down below, the opponent was a little bit slow to turn over his ace queen, but I waited for him to do so I could report to you guys what he had in his hand. In the future, would you guys just prefer if an opponent is hesitant to turn over his hand and it looks like I have the best one to immediately turn it over? I know that's the etiquette thing to do, but I have a conundrum because I'm making a vlog and you guys want to see what the opponent has. So let me know down below, would you rather me turn over my hand right away and you guys wouldn't know what he had, or are you guys fine with me waiting a little bit longer for the opponent to turn over his hand and then for me to turn over my aces? I wanted to show you guys he had ace queen offsuit, and I guess now you guys know. So we're on to the next one here. We look down at the jacks, the jiggities, the yannis. We're on the button and Ethan in the hijack raises it up to $15. Another 3-bet incoming from me. It's a battle of the buddies here. I make it $45, and this time Ethan decides to put in the call, so we're going heads up to the flop in position here. Flop's pretty good for us. It comes 7, 6, 4 with 2 hearts, and Ethan now donk bets out into me for $40. Obviously an overpair here with a jack of hearts in my hand. I decide to put in the call. Not exactly sure what Ethan is representing here. Maybe a hand like 7s or 6s, protecting against any of my ace high flush draws. Either way though, when the ace of clubs peels off on the turn, I'm interested to see what Ethan does, and now he slows down and checks. This is definitely a card that's going to hit my range a lot harder than his. I'm going to have all the aces, ace king, ace queen, where he probably shouldn't have it considering the fact he just called me pre-flop. And I give you that information because I think I made a mistake here by checking behind. I need to represent all those aces in my range. He might have a hand like pocket queens or pocket kings, although maybe Ethan probably wouldn't have that because he probably just 4-bet me pre-flop. But either way, I think it's a lot better to bet here rather than check. But when I check behind, the ace of spades now peels off on the river, and that's probably a good card for Ethan now because it doesn't look like I have too many aces in my range, and the second ace on the river makes it even less likely that I do. So when he bets out for $250, given the fact that I underrepped my hand and it's Ethan, he's a buddy, if I lose to him, it's going to a good place. I decided to stick in the call here and see what he has. Maybe a busted straight, a busted flush draw. If I'm losing, it's probably to a set or 2 pair like 6-7 suited. I put in the call and he turns over 3 deuce of diamonds. A hand I definitely did not expect him to turn over, but thank you for playing that, Ethan, and thank you for going for the bluff on the river. $673 Rampage dollars coming my way. We're up $335 on the session. This next one, Mariano, our good buddy, decides to get involved. He raises it up to $10. I'm in the hijack with 10-8 of hearts. 2 other players call Mariano's initial raise, and I do as well. We're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop is average at best. It comes 6-5-4 with 1 heart. We're going to need some help on the turn in the river to improve in this hand. Nick in the big blind, he's a vlog watcher. He bets out for $20 and Mariano puts in the call. I do as well. There's a good amount of money in there and I want to cooler somebody and just get involved in some more pots. So I put out $20 and the small blind does as well. We're still going 4 ways to the turn with 120 out there, which comes a good card. It gives us the flush draw. It comes the king of hearts. The small blind, Nick and Mariano all check it over to me, and I think this is a good spot to pick up the betting lead and represent any of the strong hands in my range. Maybe some sets, maybe 7-8 we could represent. So I bet out for $55 and we only get looked up by our good buddy Nick here. He's trying to take some wolf dollars, and the king of diamonds on the river is definitely not the card we wanted to see. A heart, a 10, or an 8 would definitely have been a lot better. So when he checks it over to me for a second time here on the river, I need to go for a bet. I just have 10 high and he hasn't played his hand especially strong. So at $230 out there, let's polarize and go for a $155 bet. Like I said earlier, I could have some sets, some 2 pairs, maybe some straights, or now maybe I could make trips with kings on the river. Either way though, I think there's a lot of strong hands here and not a lot of weak hands. It's unlikely that I'll be floating too much on the flop with some heart draws. So now that I have one, I need to go for the bet because it missed. $155 is the price of poker, and Nick thinks about it for almost a minute, which is definitely good. I want him to fold though, but he doesn't oblige. He puts in the call for $155. I immediately turn over my 10-8 of hearts. What does Nick turn over? Jack 6 for top pair on the flop. He called me down there just thinking that I was bluffing. Nice hand, Nick. You're going to get rewarded with that pot. In order for me to recoup my losses, make sure you tell a few buddies about my videos. Alright, we're coming to a close here. I look down at the last hand of the night, King 10 offsuit from under the gun, and I have 400 in my stack. I find a limp here and it folds around to Ethan in the small blind, who naturally rips it all in because what else would he do for $100 in his stack? Yes, Ethan is down to $100. You can needle him on his own video. I'll let you guys do that, but I'm going to put in the call here. Maybe my king high is good. Until he turns over A7 offsuit, we're going to need some help here. Let's see what this flop brings in. $200 out there. We flop top pair. 10-6 deuce. Bang! We flop top pair. Against our good buddy, it definitely feels even better, and the 8 of diamonds is definitely what we wanted to see. Until the river comes the ace of clubs. Dang, Ethan rivers us. How does that happen? The table goes nuts. Mariano thinks it's hilarious. And that's going to wrap up our session here. It was definitely an eventful session. We ended up booking a $45 loss on the session, but the memories and the moments we shared together were priceless. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.